Welcome to Ramona High School. I'm Nick Rice, joined alongside former Ramona High School student and Rambassador Jeff Gorham. Tonight isn't just the final game of the regular season. It's a special day for you, Jeff.
Well, it's special just because you see a lot of these seniors, they're getting to go out on their own. They're finally getting to play their senior season, which we didn't think was going to happen in 2021. But I'll tell you what, this is a great opportunity for parents, the players. The band is back. It will be true football here in Riverside.
The Rams are coming off a huge win. They're 2-2 on the year. La Sierra, a crosstown foe. They have struggled to start the season. How do you think they fare tonight?
Well, I'll tell you what, La Sierra is young, but they have a great young head coach, Sebastian Hernandez, who's been everywhere. He's going to turn this program around. He's got great young guys. They're a buy-in team, but they are young. They will struggle against this mighty Ramona team.
Mighty Ramona Rams and also the Eagles of La Sierra, the final week of the regular season, next on Riverside TV.
The entire high school football season ends today for La Sierra and Ramona High School. Glad you're with us. Nick Rice joined alongside Ramona Great and Rambassador Great, that being Jeff Gorham.
You called me a Rambassador. I haven't been called a Rambassador ever, but I think I'll take the name. That's a great name. That was pretty good. You thought of that. Good to see you, Nick.
Good to see you, Jeff. You know, I hope that's not the only impressive tidbit that I bring to you tonight, but we're going to have to wait and see on that.
That was a good one. I'm a Rambassador.
All right.
I am all about Riverside sports and Riverside football, and we've got a good one here tonight with La Sierra in their finale, I should say.
Yes.
We start off with a penalty, but we're going to start right now.
La Sierra dressed in the white with the red numerals, and La Sierra's on the return. Bo Bruins brings it back for the host Rams, and he is tripped up right around midfield, and Ramona brings out Diego Muniz and a Rams offense that has been lethal to begin the year.
Yeah, talking about those guys, they've had a great Diego Muniz, the quarterback who led this team to the Division 13 finals last year, where they end up losing at a tight one to Esperanza High School. And I'll tell you what, this will be a great way for that young man to step off the field, hopefully for them, and a win tonight.
Yes, the Rams are coming off one of their greatest seasons since Jeff Gorham was around.
Yeah, okay.
Last year, 11-3. Muniz on the first play of the game finds Emmanuel Villa, who spins right around the marker. That's an 11-yard gain. And Muniz, as mentioned, a great night for him to really, behind this crowd, really fortify himself as the signal caller of the future for this team.
Yeah, and honest to goodness, you look at this game tonight, we finally have the band for the first time this year. So the band is going to perform at halftime. You have the cheerleaders, and there's a lot of fans here in the stadium tonight.
And it just is quite the family affair here tonight. And we talked to Coach Mashinsky and the family, and they're just jazzed for this year.
Well, I'll tell you what, Coach Mashinsky, he came over after Vinny Fazio kind of started the program getting on its feet, but he has continued and flourished more so than anyone could have imagined. There's a buy-in here. The football is very big on this campus, and it's nice to see Coach Mush do such a great job.
Yes. Ken Mushinski, the former CIF champion, and one of the great Rams coaches. Here's an inside run out to the 19-yard line. He is wrapped up by Blair Turner of La Sierra as the Rams offense, a team scoring 23 points per game. Well, they took no time at all coming right out of that Ram helmet. and they're on the move here inside the red zone.
Yeah, nice run there by Christian Romo, another senior. They were all recognized prior to the game here.
It's hard to believe this will be the final game for so many of these star athletes for the Rams. A pitch to the outside, and he is taken down just short of the goal line on the throw from Muniz. They'll mark him down to the 2-yard line. Torres involved for La Sierra.
Yeah, Steven Castaneda with the reception there for the Rams. Nearly fell into the end zone, but apparently was down just short.
Diego Muniz was part of this championship run for them last year, and he certainly looks comfortable throughout the course of this season. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, Ramona. Rams take only 5 plays to score the game's first points.
And Christian Romo just kind of puts his hand over the goal line, and the Rams are on the board quickly here.
And for the Rams, they bring in quite the crowd for tonight. They're jazzed, the band as well. It should be a fun night here from Ramona High School in Riverside. Nick Rice and Jeff Gorham. Here's the extra point for the Rams and Isaac Conrado. Really just a great atmosphere tonight, Jeff, and it should be a fun football game.
It is. It's a nice way to kind of cap off the season here.
And that kick is good. The Rams go the distance on the first drive of the game. La Sierra's defense, which has some playmakers on it, gives up the long drive. That may be an issue for the Eagles. This defense has given up about 49 points per game, and the Rams took advantage of that on that opening drive. 7-0.
So, yeah, we have one more game tomorrow night. In fact, we're going to be at Poly versus Lakeside at King High School.
All right.
It'll be our finale of the season here on Riverside TV, but I believe we've covered, it feels like we've covered about 30 games in the last 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Our crew has worked really hard. We've had double headers. We have really covered
triple
the entire,
headers.
yeah, triple. We've covered the entire Riverside area teams and done a great job with the crew we always have, led by Scott Brocious and the Riverside TV crew.
Oh, yeah. Pep Fernandez, J.R. Ibarra, all the fine folks that are right here for the games throughout the course of this incredible year. The return from Castellanos, and he is wrapped up just across the 20-yard line. Tomorrow's game won't feature 2 Riverside schools, so this is, I guess, the last de facto city championship that we'll have
That is true.
on Riverside TV.
Yes, and as we go over to La Sierra, Sebastian Hernandez, a great coach. In fact, he was a first head coach at Hillcrest High School. Was a long-time assistant coach for Ken Batdorf at Norte Vista. He went on to Nogales High School as well, and he is back in the Alvord district. I'll tell you what, he's a great young mind. Football, he's got a great staff, and they're going to be very, very good in the years to come.
And the Eagles, in their adjustment for this year, pitch to the left to begin the game for Humberto Jara of the Eagles. And he is wrapped up for a loss. The Rams pursue well on that first play of the game.
And looking over at the offensive coordinator for the Eagles, Ray Villarreal, who was over at Kaiser High School. He's been at King High School, was a longtime offensive coordinator at Norte Vista. He has been around. He was at Nogales actually with Coach Hernandez, and just one of those guys that's been around high school football and a staple, I should say.
Yes.
One of my closest friends and a good dude. He's one of those guys that will help turn this Eagle program around.
Eagles coming off a tough loss across the way at Norte Vista last week. Yet another Riverside matchup here today on Riverside TV. Play fake, and he rolls to his right, does Angel Torres. That pass is picked off.
And that's just a freshman mistake there. I mean, you have a freshman playing. I mean, he's playing in a league that has been dominant by some of the teams like Hillcrest, Norte Vista, Ramona. He's getting thrown to the fire, but you got to look at what La Sierra is doing. La Sierra is playing a true freshman at quarterback, and he's going to get a lot of reps in these 5 games. So, coming in as a sophomore and a summer of weightlifting and so forth, they're going to be a lot better under that young freshman.
Yeah, of all the veterans on this roster, to have Angel Torres, just a freshman, and he is seemingly improving just about every week. And that's a first down run of the gain of 12. Jeremiah Randall for the Eagles as Ramona's back in the red zone. The Rams, they came out. I mean, you had to believe that they may have some pregame jitters, but you wouldn't know it about the way they are moving at will against this defense early. Muniz with another handoff, and Christian Romo's dragged down inside the 5.
Romo getting a lot of reps here early this senior, senior to senior combo.
And the Rams are doing a good job with the push up front.
The big boys.
Yes. And this for all sorts of pride here in the league, this being the River Valley League. And he's in the end zone. Ramona is running at will against this defense in the first quarter of the Rams' 2 touchdown drives. How about one pass they have attempted to a wide receiver so far? And it's not La Sierra who scored. It was Ramona who scored that touchdown.
Yeah, it was Luis Villarreal, the 10th grader, 5'3", 165-pound running back. A good move, and the Rams have scored quickly. The Rams are up 13-0.
Yep. Oh, Isaac Conrado was going to attempt the extra point. He flips into the end zone. There's McDaniels. 2-point conversion successful for Ramona. Well, how about that?
Isaiah Reyes with the reception on the 2-point conversion.
No, the Rams are pulling out all the stops early in the game is Ramona. 15-0. Impressive start to the game, and you had to believe for Ken Muschinski, this is the final time we'll get a look at these guys. They're going to pull out some of these stops here tonight. Certainly done it.
Yeah, and you play as hard as you can and hope for the best. Like I said, Ramona is one of those teams that's, they've been steady, but I'll tell you what, they're a young team. You look through their roster, a lot of sophomores, and with a lot of weight training, 7-on-7 camps and so forth. Both of these teams will improve.
And the Rams certainly hope to duplicate their incredible season just a few years ago. Off to the hand of Torres. And it's on the return. Baldwin quickly wrestles down the run back man, Castellano, on the run back for La Sierra. The Rams, with graduating Diego Muniz, you had to believe that they would probably need to establish who their runners are going to be in the future, and they have just played well with that running game early.
Yeah, in fact, we just mentioned with that touchdown, Villarreal, just a sophomore, so we could see a lot of these younger players getting into the ball game tonight for Ramona, getting those extra reps after this antiquated 5-game season.
Antiquated. Diving deep in Webster's, are you? Prior to this one. Torres with the handoff. And that won't gain much for La Sierra, Humberto Jara. So it's almost surreal, this being the final game of the regular season for me. I guess you're going to have to come back tomorrow on Riverside TV. I may have to join you, just sneaking right behind you for the Pauley game. What have your thoughts been of this year?
The biggest thoughts for me is that this season was for the student athletes and these seniors that are getting at least 5 games in, which is wonderful for these guys. It's for the parents, it's for the band, the cheerleaders, and I think it's great for the school itself just to show that the world is opening up again.
Yep.
The football hasn't been at the level we've seen in years past just because there's no preseason. The toughest thing I think coming away from this game from this season is the injuries. I was sitting and talking with the sport clinic, Jim Clover, prior to this game. I believe he said he had 16 ACL injuries.
16?
16. So, that is the downside with a shortened season and players not being able to get the reps.
Jeremiah Randall for the Eagles gains a couple. That's a lot for even the NBA, and I'm sure you know all about the injuries wreaking havoc on every team in the NBA. And that's the one thing, we talked about a little bit, too, when we called last week's game. is just the shortened off season has to be very concerning for these coaches.
Well, it's concerning, but it's also positive for a lot of these guys. Unless you suffer these big injuries, you're this is kind of your spring football, and this will carry over because season seems like it will start probably the day after tomorrow. If you think about it, we're going to be right back here in the fall and playing real football. So I think it'll be beneficial getting these games in for some of these younger programs like La Sierra and Ramona.
On a hop, Raymond Valdez gets a good block and heads to the left side. He has a convoy. The Rams are on the run, led by Valdez, a block by McDaniels at the 30. He cuts back to the 10. Touchdown, Ramona. What a run. Raymond Valdez is in the end zone.
And just like that, what a great return. In fact, was down. If we show on the replay, looked like he might have been close to being down. Spun out of it, and like you said, had the convoy ahead of him with the big boys.
Yeah. And I guess we'll see if Ramona will attempt another 2-point conversion here as the Rams lead the ball game 21-0. Out of the hold from Valdez, who just scored on the return touchdown. Isaac Conrado, the kick is good. Rams lead the ball game 22-0. An inspired start on all three phases of the game for Ramona.
A big hit there by number 25, Alex Martinez, for Ramona. In fact, that really was the block that got that young fella, Raymond Valdez, the senior, playing in his final game. He'll remember that for the rest of his life.
He'll be probably watching Riverside TV for the rest of his life, too.
You're darn right. He's going to be listening to you and I, 20 years from now, and I'm 70 and you're like 25.
That's right. That's right. My 15th birthday is coming up there, Jeff, soon enough. Conrado belts the kickoff. A little bit short, taken just across the 10-yard line. And Baldwin gets there around Castellanos. You were there last week when Ramona was dealt a tough loss on the road against the Trojans of Hillcrest, 35-20. What was a pretty thrilling football game.
Yeah, it was. We've had some great ones this season on Riverside TV. And there's a lot of people watching. You look at the numbers. The beginning of the year, nobody could go to the game, so they were all tuning in, watching on Riverside TV.
And a lot of guys who aren't even from this state just tuning in saying, hey, I like football no matter what it is. And Ika Iso quickly smothers the run inside from La Sierra. That may be a 1-yard loss. Ika Iso, number 10, another senior playing in his final game.
But you look at him, he is 6'4", 210 pounds.
Sheesh.
He definitely passes the eyeball test. Ika has been fun to watch this season. This is the third game we've had for the Rams in 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Which has been great. The second game we've had for La Sierra as well.
It doesn't even feel right, this being the final week. Week 5 of the CIF season. Well, Angel Torres, just a freshman, is taken down for a loss of 6. Head coach Ken Mushinski is in his 4th year with the Rams, 26 wins throughout his excellent tutelage, including, of course, that incredible run. We had 3 straight playoff games where we featured Ramona on Riverside TV. That playoff run was incredible, and it came down to maybe the game of the year for Ramona, a 42-40 decision in the CIF championship game to Esperanza. Rams coming off that incredible year are 2-2 this season. A deep drop. Torres evades the pressure momentarily. Castaneda was involved as the Rams bring him down. Javier Castaneda, loss of 7. No chance. Number 13, Nathan Horton, was there first for the Rams. And Raymond Valdez. stands back at the 46-yard line. Xavier Castellanos. He'll take the snap of the 5 and sends this one deep. Valdez tracks all the way back, makes the grab of the 42. Here he goes with a block back at the 50. That was an illegal block. And he brings it back just across the 40. Tripped up by Garcia.
Yeah, that will be a personal foul, I believe. Illegal block is the block in the back. There's the penalty, and that's going to send him 15 back from the foul.
Well, Jeff Gorham, you used to play in the NFL. When you had an opportunity to crack back somebody like that,
oh yeah,
would you hesitate or would you just go for it?
You just hammer him.
Just hammer him.
No, but that was just that's part of the season, and we talked about this. Is that you're going to get plays like that, and they're not done in malice or it's just they haven't played enough reps, and so you're going to get some personal fouls that might not normally be personal fouls if they have played the number of games they were supposed to.
Right.
A little sloppy at times.
By the way, just a beautiful day here from Riverside, California. The sun's just about to set, around 70 degrees with some winds, which makes it feel much, much colder here inside the booth. Snap to Muniz, who quickly throws the hitch to Adrian Monhe, who makes a move and picks up the first down. Gain of 16.
Yeah, Monhe, a playmaker for Muniz. It's been a big target for that young man. Great play. He eluded there on that last, as we see on the replay.
Yeah.
Stops on a dime. This guy go right by, gets a extra 5, 6, 7 yards right there.
Quarterback's friend to have someone make a move like that. Another big run. Christian Romo across the 40, and he is knocked down to the 38-yard line. So this is the run from Diego Muniz at quarterback. There's number 5. Nathan Johnson is the backup, and if I got it correctly, he's apparently related to Ken Mashinsky in some way. I don't know if you knew.
I did not
that.
know
Okay.
that.
So I talked to him before the game, and he was talking Nathan Johnson, nephew, something like that. But either way, that's very exciting stuff for the Rams moving forward. Quick tunnel screen that's dropped by Emmanuel Villa as the Rams are off to a sizzling start to begin the game tonight.
And talking, about Ken Mashinsky, who's been a champion, who said at a previous stop, he's one of those guys that I'm a former Ram. He called me a Rambassador. And honestly, I'll do anything we can to keep him around. We'll talk a little bit here after this play.
Yes, after 2nd and 10, Muniz is looking deep. He sidesteps the Eagle pressure and takes off. And is walloped at the 35. Austin Work, the senior nose guard, makes the stop.
Yeah, so if you can't really give him any monetary stuff, but what I've managed to do is I've got the Booster Club all involved.
Okay.
And so we're going to get him. I'm just going to get him gift certificates to all of the finer restaurants in Riverside to keep him around in that Rams uniform forever. So I want the Farmer Boys, the Lucky Greek, all these local eateries to make sure they take care of our guy Ken Mashinsky so he stays in a Ram uniform for the remainder of his career.
Okay, so you bring up the finer restaurants in Riverside, and the first name you come up with, and I love Farmer Boys, is Farmer Boys.
Because
it's a great.
That's my demographic. That's why I'm going to get those. I can't send them over to the Mission Inn. Those guys aren't going to give me any money.
Fair enough.
Those
You
guys
got something wrong with the Mission Inn?
No. But I can't go to Dwayne's, the fine steakhouse in the Mission Inn, and go, hey, we really got to keep this Ken Mashinsky guy here. Yeah. So can you give me $5,000 worth of gift cards to Dwayne's? That'll feed his family for a day and a half. Have you ever been to Dwayne's? You buy a steak is $9,000. It's the best steak in the world, but it's really expensive.
Really?
So yeah, I have to go to my demographic. Where I like to eat the local Etuxie's down the road on. You probably don't know this on Magnolia. Been around for 100,000
I know
years.
those guys. Muniz fires in the end zone for Adrian Monhe. Incomplete.
Flag on a play there.
Have you ever heard of this place, the RCC Cafeteria? They serve some amazing stuff there.
Tots. All I ever eat at the RCC cafeteria is tots.
Tots. Yeah, good tots. The chicken strips, all that. But, yeah, Ken Mushinski has been a winner no matter where he goes. Former champion, Irvine Beckman High School. In fact, I looked it up. The school hasn't been anywhere near the same since he left. No shame on Beckman. It's just Ken Mushinski is a winner from San Bernardino Valley, King High School, and here at Ramona. So it'll be exciting to see how the Rams, once the CIF playoffs is back after this year, we'll see how they compete in the Southern section, no matter what division they're in for next year.
Well, see, he left a school better because it had a bad name, Beckman. I mean, no offense, Coach Mush. I know you and your family watching this later on, but you can't say, "Ooh, we're playing the mighty Beckman tonight." It sounds like I'm playing my accountant. You're playing Ramona. You're playing the Rams. That
The
sounds
Rams.
The Beckman accountants. That's what I picture in my head. But no, Beckman was great under Coach Mush.
Yeah, 11 wins certainly gave that team a winning culture. On third down, they'll go back to the ground. Romo, 6 yards, and the Rams are back in the red zone again.
Yeah, in fact, we had Ramona Hillcrest, and the head coach at Travis Carter at Hillcrest was the quarterback for Ken Mushinski at Martin Luther King High School.
Really?
Did you know that?
I did not know
Yes,
that.
there you
I
go.
should have known that.
I should have asked you that as a trivia question.
Oh.
Apparently, you got one last night that I was shocked that you knew.
Boom. Christian Romo to the 2 and in the end zone. Touchdown, Ramona.
Yeah, Romo scoring a lot here. Is that his second or third touchdown of the night so far?
No relation to former Cowboy.
Tony?
Yes, Tony. Or maybe he is related. I don't know.
Maybe.
Probably, yeah. Given on that running style, I'd sure say so. The Rams are off to a hot start, and that's great to hear, isn't it? Former Ramona graduate.
Yeah, but see, I was the basketball coach at La Sierra, so I'm a La Sierra guy too.
Oh, my. I think you've probably coached at every school.
My dad was a longtime coach at La Sierra.
Yes. Valdez holds, and the Conrado PAT is no good. Wide right. So that's the nice clean 28-0 for the Rams here with just a few seconds to go in the first quarter. How does La Sierra get something going on offense?
Well, they're young. They're really, really starting over. Coach Hernandez taking over, and he really has. I mean, it was tough during the pandemic. La Sierra's size of their school has shrunk so much. You're not getting as many players coming out, and it's not anything by Coach Hernandez has done or anything. It's just the school's a lot smaller, and so he's really in a true rebuild. They've had a great program for the past several years, but it is starting over. Coach Hedlund went on to coach over at Indian Springs out in San Bernardino, moved on with Chris Chaddock, and Coach Sebastian Hernandez taking over.
And that's always one of those pretty cool things as a head coach, right? I mean, as much as you want to take over for a winner, how about a clean slate? You have an opportunity with a freshman quarterback, a young roster. Not too deep of a roster considering, looking at the sideline, there's only about 3 dozen players, but an opportunity to just rebuild things from the ground up.
Yeah, and he's got, like I said, mentioned prior, he's got Ray Villarreal on his staff, a longtime assistant coach, has been a lot of different places, knows the game of football more than almost anyone I know, and they're going to turn this thing around with these young players. It's just going to take some time.
Yeah. The Eagles do have a bit of a winning culture. In 2014, they won a league title. They beat Ramona a couple of years ago at home. Deep drop for Torres, who flips it over the middle, and Ramona had that one covered from the start. Jeremiah Randall, the sophomore, makes the grab, his third of the year, and that will end the opening quarter. The Rams run roughshod, led by Christian Romo. We even saw a special teams touchdown for the Rams, up 28-0. Tomorrow's not only a big day, by the way, Jeff, in terms of the football game tomorrow night.
Yeah, we've got the drive-through giveaway. The City of Riverside is partnering with the Sahaba Initiative and Feeding America to host the drive-through food distribution with prepackaged boxes of fresh food up to 800 families. It's free and easy, and there are no prerequisites on registration required. Just arrive on site, and a volunteer will load a prepackaged box of fresh food into your trunk. That's Reed Park at 701 Orange Street this Saturday from 2 to 5 p.m. Come on by. It sounds great.
Sure does. You can have Farmer Boys. I'll take this thing tomorrow.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what, though. City Riverside just does a great job.
Yes.
And I have not seen anybody do as much as our city during this pandemic.
Absolutely. We hope all of you are safe, healthy, and come out tomorrow. It should be fun.
We had a bug week this past week, and I'll tell you what.
Sure did.
I talked to Scott Brocious during the week. I said, man, I'm excited. I've been watching all these bug programs.
Crawling around out there.
Oh, I watched every one of them. Give it a
am.
thumbs up, and if you get a chance, go to the YouTube Riverside TV and give a thumbs up for everything that Riverside does in this community.
You think there might be another one?
Oh, I've already put my
Can you
my
feel it in
name
your
in that.
bones?
No, I want to be the host next year of the Insect Expo, and I want to do it live. I want to touch tarantulas and praying mantises, and I want to eat some bugs and crickets. Kung Pao crickets, man, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Savory.
And you got me a little enlightened about the different squids and what are Humberto Jara here for a gain of 2.
Cephalopods.
What is an insect and what is a bug? You know, it's.
I'm telling you, I ate cephalopods last night. I had a squid, and I had octopus. And it was a little strange. I had the suckers it was just weird, those big suckers. And I ate it, and I don't think I'll do it again, but it was delicious because, you know why? I dipped it in butter. Everything is delicious in butter.
That's that Chef Robert special.
Yes, it is.
Right there. Well, La Sierra has had a pretty good start in terms of running the ball with Humberto Jara and also Jeremiah Randall, but their efforts on 4th down will certainly be suffered with this pre-snap penalty. As the Eagles were attempting a 4th down, we'll see if they do it, and they'll bring out the punt team. Reen Valtierra is the punt for the Eagles, as La Sierra's off to a slow start today on the offensive end. Deep to return, Raymond Valdez. Let's see if he can get another good one. Fresh off of his first quarter, 68-yard punt return, touchdown. No, they're going with a fake. Some trickery on the throw from Castellanos. Now that's ruled incomplete. Javier Castaneda involved on that defensive play on 4th down.
But you got to like the toughness of La Sierra going for it. In fact, I watched the play, and I ended up watching the head coach, Sebastian Hernandez, and he's nothing but positivity there on the sidelines, clapping his guys up. You got to try stuff like that. If you're going to get any better, you can't play vanilla. You got to you have to play Neapolitan. You got to play it all.
Yes, go for the big stuff. I'd run through a wall for a coach that'll go for it on 4th down every now and then.
Heck yeah.
1st and 10. They'll go to the ground. Bo Bruins between the tackles. And he is spilled inside the 15. He is the reigning Ram Athlete of the Week. I mean, I think that's the only school in the area giving out school awards like that. Pretty cool stuff. Just shouting out all of the athletic programs in high school at Ramona. And this isn't the only one going on right now. Bo Bruins to the outside. He cuts back inside of the 15, and Jara converges for La Sierra at the 10. You were just at the basketball gym earlier today.
I went over and saw the sweater vest himself, Brandon Fletcher, the women's basketball coach here at Ramona. I took my son, who had never been in the gym here, and I took him in, and he said, "Dad, I see your name on the wall." I said, "Yeah, don't forget, that was a long time ago." But I got to go in and say hi to Coach Fletcher.
Bruins slips through a tackle, and Jeremiah Randall pulls on for dear life and stops him from scoring a touchdown. Was there some dust on the Jeff Gore? I'm just kidding.
No, are you kidding me? Everything was beautiful. But, talking to Frank Berber, the defensive line coach who played on the CIF championship team here back in, I believe, 1990, on the football team, he's he wears his shaklas. You know what shaklas are? Those are he wears flip-flops as he coaches, as you see him. But his son was the pitcher on the baseball team, and they defeated Hillcrest today 11-1.
Very nice.
Maximus Berber hit 2 home runs and was on the mound en route to that victory.
Nice. Bo Bruins in the end zone. Touchdown, Ramona Rams.
In fact, Maximus Berber would have played football, but with the way the seasons are going on, you have to pick one sport, and he chose baseball. He's going to play college baseball. But yeah, he had 2 back-to-back home runs.
Wow.
And he was like, Ohtani.
Shohei Ohtani.
He was like Shohei Ohtani. He was on the mound and hitting homer bombs.
No way. He was pitching too?
Pitching too, and got 2 back-to-back home runs. And I believe Hillcrest was 2-0, and Ramona came in and got the victory.
Shout out, the L.A. Angels. Isaac Conrado, after the muff snap, a flag has been thrown as Zahir El Maghrabi makes the La Sierra tackle.
That's going to be a face mask, I believe. I think Ramona's going to get another shot at that as we look on the replay. Let's see here.
Oh, that's the touchdown. Bo Bruins. Excellent run from the sophomore. So we hear plenty of him moving forward, we presume, for the Rams.
Yep. There's going to be
Was there a player who touched him? No.
He was untouched, unscathed, so Ramona's going to get another chance. Ramona's going to get a shot here at the point after attempt one more time. I think the personal foul penalty will be addressed after the kickoff.
Well, certainly all sorts of praise goes out to the Rams. That kick is no good. I still believe that there's all sorts of praise that should go to the Adam Gonzalez special teams as he coordinates that club. And they've really put together quite the game plan. They've gone for 2 on about 3 or 4 occasions today. And they've delivered almost every time. That PAT was no good from Isaac Conrado. Shoot, you might as well keep going for 2 at this rate.
Give it a shot. I remember, when I was in high school, guys, there were great kickers. There were guys who used to be able to kick the ball. When I was a young boy, Frank Corral, who played for the Rams, was a great player. Played for the Los Angeles Rams, led the NFL in scoring. I remember watching him play on this field and kicking the ball onto Magnolia Avenue.
Really?
Yes. No joke.
No joke. Wow.
The field was a little different than it was now. They've redone it, and it's a beautiful field here at Ramona High School. But Frank Corral used to kick it over that fence and onto Magnolia Avenue.
Wow, that is awesome. I wonder what this place looked like before.
It was home side was on the other side.
Really? Omar Reyes on the return out to the 25. And, the bleachers could carry,
5,000.
5,000 people?
5,000. In fact, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to give you a little history about this place. I know nobody really cares about this, but I kissed my first girl ever on this field.
Kissed your first girl?
I was like a senior probably in high school. But yeah,
wow, senior in high school.
No, I was much younger than that, my friend Nick.
So you were a junior in high school?
No. I'm not going to tell you, but
you're not going to tell me.
Nope, I got my first kiss on this field as a young boy.
I think you were a junior in high school.
Nope. Are you kidding me, man? I was cool. So it's nice always to be back here in this wonderful stadium. Not
sure
because I kissed a girl here, but
that helps.
It does always helps.
Oh yeah. But the Rams have turned into a winning culture. It took a while once you were gone, Jeff Gorham, but they're back and they are as good as ever at Ramona High School. And it's really quite the area, right next to RCC, California Baptist. And you've got Ramona High School.
You got Laura Shiner, who's the great softball coach here. They're first place in the River Valley League. They've got a great swim complex here, the whole school. I brought my son, like you mentioned, for the first time today, and he walked around campus. And honest to goodness, I think it's still the crown jewel of high schools here in the city of Riverside.
Riverside. So, in terms of residents of this part of Riverside, right next to Arlington, the 215-91 intersection, do you have a choice? Well, the Rams pick it up Caron Baldwin on the fumble recovery for Ramona, so they're going to have a short field here at the 25. For folks in this area, do you have a choice to go to La Sierra or Ramona or North or any of those? Or
no,
are you
living within the boundaries.
Interesting. I mean, those must be some pretty short boundaries.
They're very small. There's a lot of high schools in Riverside, but you've got 2 school districts in the city of Riverside. You have the Alvord Unified School District. You have the Riverside Unified School District. And you have Hillcrest, La Sierra, Norte Vista in Alvord. And the rest of the Riverside schools are in the part of the Unified School District.
Interesting. What a run. That from Austin McDaniels, number 4.
But, Ramona is, I believe, the second oldest high school in Riverside behind Riverside Poly.
Interesting. Which is going to be on display tomorrow. Bo Collins on the inside. Hit from Jeremiah Randall and brought down quickly. Randall came into the game with 21 tackles on the 4-game season, which is going to be weird moving forward, seeing stats of players with only 5 games on their ledger. More than anything, though, I'm sure these coaches, as frustrated as they are certainly hoping that there is no punishment of a shortened offseason. Bo Collins for another Rams touchdown. Ramona's got a 40-burger, Jeff, here in the first half.
Well, they've been pretty unstoppable here. Special teams, they have. They're not going to call it. It's not going to be a touchdown, I believe, as there was a hold.
Oklahoma Sooners fight song. I only know that because my school plays it too. Certainly a learning experience moving forward for La Sierra, playing against the big boys, the Ramona Rams. And a great opportunity for this club moving forward in the year. Our score does remain 34-0 as Muniz is harassed. Israel Morales for the Eagles brings him down after a short gain.
And Sebastian Hernandez, his father-in-law, was the football coach at La Sierra at one time. Rob Curry, who is now one of the lead officials in high school football. In fact, he called the Norco Centennial game a couple weeks ago as Norco upset Centennial.
Yes, huge upset.
Rob Curry is, I'm sure, will be helping a little bit on the sidelines with his son-in-law.
Play fake, Muniz with open room at the 5-yard line. Number 5, Diego Muniz. Touchdown, Ramona Rams.
So there's the 40 you were just talking about.
Certainly for Sebastian Hernandez, he's got a lot of family members and a lot of relatives to pull from.
He's got a great support system over there at La Sierra. They have a great strength coach, a guy named Steve Carroll, who was the head coach at one time at Bishop Amat High School. He does a tremendous job. In fact, he's standing on the 50-yard line over there in his blue shorts. Mm-hmm. He's been around for a long time and a great human being and a great strength coach. So he will be a very vital part of this La Sierra rebuild, as he's going to have to work with these players and get them strong. Yeah, all them young sophomores and freshmen that we're seeing on this La Sierra team. They have 16 freshmen on their varsity. That's a pretty high number of freshmen.
Yeah, very, very unusual. Ramona's had a couple of underclassmen make big plays, but the senior Diego Muniz finds the end zone for the Ramona Rams. And it'll be interesting to see how many of these Rams, and Eagles for that matter too, we'll be seeing maybe next year at RCC right across the road here in Riverside.
Yeah, you and I were calling games there for the national championship.
Yes.
Tigers. I still have not got my ring yet. You know, we got to get Coach Kraft over there. I'm going to have to go call him up and say, hey, what do you do? Your TV guys don't get rings.
They're just throwing rings away. I don't know if you saw that, but they said there's nobody else who needs one, so we're just going to get rid of them. This kickoff bounces into the end zone for a touchback. But RCC finished last year with an incredible run and a City of San Francisco victory in the state championship. Riverside had just been on the doorstep of winning those state titles for years under former San Diego State Aztec coach Tom Kraft, and they finally broke through, and it took a while. Same could be said with Ken Mushinski. The team kept on winning important league games, and they just broke through last year with an incredible playoff run.
Yeah, remember, they got third place, I believe, in the River Valley League and ended up going to the CIF Championship. And I'll tell you what, that's just complete buy-in from your players 1 through 150 or however many players you have in the program. But guys, talking with Coach Mushinski, they have been bought in since he took over.
Yeah. Playoff wins over Rosemed, Alhambra, and Cantwell Sacred Heart of Mary, another program, huge win on Riverside TV. This for the de facto city championship, Ramona and La Sierra, Rams and Eagles. A rematch of last year. Ramona handled them soundly, but the Eagles are a couple of years away from a win against these guys, and in 2014 they beat them right here at Ramona High School just a couple of years ago. Omar Reyes hammered just outside. McDaniels involved for the Rams after a short gain. So Ramona, unless they fall apart here today, they're going to finish with another winning record at 3-2. Rams with impressive wins, including in the opener. I believe this was the game on Riverside TV against Arlington, 21-8, if I'm not mistaken. Does that ring a bell?
It does ring a bell.
Pretty much every game. And they also beat Patriot on the road of Jurupa Valley a couple of weeks ago.
I just had my friend text me, the owner of Mario, said he would chip in some gift certificates for Coach Mushinski. And he's a Poly guy. What is he doing? He wants to help out a Ramona guy.
Well, John Rice, he's a staple there. And there's Ramona on the fumble recovery. Picked up by Nikki Chavez, if I'm not mistaken, number 23. We'll take another look at that one. Yes, my dad, coach at Poly, he's not giving that up easy.
Yeah, Coach Rice. In fact,
yes.
I talked to Coach Rice earlier today on the telephone.
Did you?
I did.
All right.
He called up and said, "Hey, you guys doing the game tomorrow night?" I said, "Yes, we are."
Yes.
I'm going to show up early, hang out with Coach Rice.
All right. I'm sure all these coaches across the city of Riverside all are very much. Bo Bruins to the outside and races into the end zone for another Ram touchdown as Ramona takes a 47-0 lead. And I'm sure even though there are coaches on opposing sidelines, John Rice is loving it for Ken Mushinski and Ramona.
That's one of his guys. Coach Rice is one of those fellas. You talk about the people that we've been around. He was, over at St. John Bosco. He was at John W. North High School. But it's nice to see him at Riverside Poly. He's just one of those. Bill Powell, his assistant head coach, another great man who was out in the Hemet area. They are going to turn that Poly team around. In fact, they have the best freshman team in the area. They have 47 players suiting up for the Bears this season with freshmen.
Impressive run there from Bo Collins.
Bo Bruins.
Yeah, or Bo Bruins, I'm sorry.
Don't be calling him Bo Collins. He sounds like something like a movie star. Bo Bruins sounds like a pro football player.
Oh, you were just talking about, Bo, you're talking about St. John Bosco. Bo Collins played there before.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Now at Clemson. By the way, the River Valley, this is a league matchup in the River Valley League. A quick update out of the Hillcrest Patriot matchup. The score in that one is 27-0. So the Trojans of Hillcrest look well on their way to winning against the Warriors tonight and clinching the River Valley League Championship. That kickoff soars near the pylon. Flag is thrown out of bounds before it reaches the end zone. So unless there is a disaster from the Hillcrest Trojans, they are going to win the River Valley League this year. What are your thoughts of what you saw of Hillcrest this season?
I thought they were the best team in the league. They played Norte Vista. Norte Vista had some issues in that first half, but they held Norte Vista to 0 points. I have not seen a Ken Batdorf team get shut out. He's been there 27 years. I've seen a lot of those years.
Yeah.
He was shut out in the first half, and Travis Carter and his Hillcrest Trojans really just took care of that game, dominated that first half, and went away with the victory.
Yeah, Hillcrest is outscoring their opponents 41-12 so far this year, and are ready to enjoy an unbeaten season unless Patriot can mount a comeback in the second half at home. 48-0 Ramona with just over 5 minutes to go in this second quarter. Crushing start to the game for the La Sierra Eagles. La Sierra did have a 2-win campaign last year, 2-8. Eagles, after the penalty, will have a great start. The referee's going to spot the ball at the 50. As good a time as any for the Eagles to find the scoreboard here in the first half. 1st and 10. Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham. In a beautiful night. Feels just like the fall, but there's nothing like fall football on Fridays.
We got spring football, and it's
Yeah.
wonderful. You got a nice little breeze going. Got, like I said, cheerleaders. Got the band coming on at halftime.
Yeah. Another fumble off the hands of Omar Reyes. Do the Rams have it? Yes, they do. Scooped up by Marcus Perez. Well, simple quarterback, running back exchange. It certainly doesn't help that Nathan Horton, number 13, basically took the handoff, Jeff. And Horton is just a sophomore.
Bo Bruin.
Bo Bruins back to the ground. One of the Eagles slips at the 30-yard line. Bruins dives over the pylon. Touchdown, Ramona Rams. I believe this is the 3rd touchdown run of the ball game for Bo Bruins, the sophomore runner.
Hey, he could break Al Bundy's record
Yeah.
for Married with Children. I'm telling you, man, he's going to be. Bo Bruins could have. Hey, when he said, I wonder how. If somebody out there can tell me how many touchdowns Al Bundy was famous for scoring, I think he had like 6 or 7.
I believe 7. If I'm not mistaken.
So Bo Bruins going for the Al Bundy record.
Now, we've seen some near records just in the last couple years on Riverside TV. Could this be the night for Bo Bruins? Great start to the ball game, and this was catapulted with the fumble recovery. Marcus Perez scooped it up after Horton all but forced it just one play ago. Bo Bruins, what a day for the sophomore. Rams came into the ball game coming off a 35-20 loss. And I just wonder how much that loss last week almost played to tonight's game, where Ramona's taken out some frustrations on La Sierra.
And they're just playing hard-nosed football. And like I said, La Sierra, 16 freshmen on their varsity team.
And the Rams are just flying around out there. They've got some late subs on the kickoff unit. 55-0. 4:44 to go in the first half. Isaac Conrado to kick off for the Rams. He runs into it and sends the kickoff away. And that soars through the end zone for a touchback. All right, so I guess now's a good time as any. Could you tell the folks at home who Al Bundy is?
Do you know who Al Bundy is?
Kinda, not really.
Hold on a second here. All right, here it is. Here's the trivia with Nick Rice. Nick Rice,
no!
what TV show did Al Bundy star on?
I
I
bet.
already gave you the
I
answer.
bet Bundy's in his name. The Al Bundy Show, something like that.
Oh, my gosh.
No.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Nick Rice does not have. Have you ever heard of Married with Children?
Oh, jeez.
Have you?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
no.
Al Bundy's only scored 4 TDs. We just heard from our guy, Ghazal Hassan, So Bo Bruins is now could pass Al Bundy.
Yeah. Outside Giovanni Garcia for the Eagles.
I cannot believe you've never heard of Married with Children.
I've heard of like Good Times. And,
man, did you grow up watching TV at all, Nick?
Hey, I mean what channel was that on? It must have been on some
Fox. No, that was on Fox for 14 years.
Was it on
friend.
Fox Junior?
No,
Channel 500.
No, it was mainstream. Oh my God, Nick Rice. You got a trivia question last night that might have been the hardest one I've ever heard.
Oh yeah. I mean, hey, this. I'm not married yet, so I'm not supposed to watch it until I get married.
No,
right?
You're supposed to watch your TV in your formidable years, your formative years, like when you were young and you just memorized things.
I still am young, right? No.
Well, I mean, you should have been watching TV even like you were like 10 or 11 and knowing all this stuff. Oh man, we're going to go through the U.S. presidents in about 5 minutes. You better gear up on those.
Okay, I'm studying right now. Quick flip in the right flat. Jeremiah Randall, sophomore, 5'9", 185 pounds, makes the grab. His third of the football game. Third down and 13. Ghazal Hassan gave a real nice slider to me yesterday with who are the 5 presidents who came from a state came from a state where a Super Bowl winning quarterback went to college at. Okay, I believe that was the question, something like that.
Okay, so what was your answer?
Oh, geez. Well, one of them actually is currently in office. I remember that one. Joe Flacco went to University of Delaware.
Pennsylvania? Wouldn't that be the state?
Where Joe Biden? No, Delaware for him.
But no, who was the quarterback?
It
had to be Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so Roger Staubach went to Navy. Isn't that in Philly? Yeah, so, and then I forget who the guy was. I believe it was Roosevelt who was from Pennsylvania. My goodness, I'm no help. I'm hurting all of you guys on Riverside TV. Are you guys getting a headache out there?
No. let's just. I was going to ask you who was on Mount Rushmore, but I will not do that to you. I won't put you through that.
Put me through that. I've spent my quarantine hours really productively this year, Jeff. As that punt sails out of the reach of Adam McDaniels, out of bounds just across the 45 or 40-yard line.
Right now, we're in the middle of watching the Marvel movies from in timeline order with my 2 youngest boys. My oldest son Connor and I have seen every one of them.
Nice.
But the younger crew. So we're now on movie number 14 in the Marvel timeline, and we're going to go home and finish Ant-Man tonight.
Nice.
And then we're going to watch something else. We're going to watch Spider-Man tomorrow. So we've got the whole weekend planned. It's going to be great.
Nice. And I'm sure you watched Kong versus Godzilla.
I saw it.
Everybody who's anybody's watched that movie. Flag is thrown.
And it's going to come back. It looks like it's going to be a hold.
Good run from Christian Martinez, the 5'6" junior.
In fact, tonight we're going to go home. I'm going to get my kids. We're going to have some popcorn. And you know what I put in my popcorn? Sour Patch Kids. Have you ever done that?
Popcorn in
No, you get a big tub of popcorn and then you pepper some Sour Patch Kids on top. So when you get a little sweetness, a little saltiness,
nice.
Try it. Everybody at home, listen to me. Try your Sour Patch Kids in your popcorn when you watch movies. It's fantastic. I might watch this football game again tonight.
Not a bad idea. Now me, because I'm a crazy guy, I'm going to watch Trial of Chicago 7 tonight. That's my movie of choice.
What are you watching?
Trial of Chicago 7.
I know, that's too serious. That's too serious for me right
What's
now.
wrong with Nick Rice? Let's figure that out in the second half.
You only watch movies with Matthew McConaughey, for gosh sake. You told me that last week.
Yeah.
I sent you a picture of Matthew McConaughey.
And I was like, hey, I'm going to get right on True Detective. Did I watch a single episode this week?
Of course not.
I did not. Well, Bo Bruins, fresh off a brilliant first half, he watches Another run from Christian Martinez.
Looking to break Al Bundy's 4-touchdown record. He's got 4 tonight. He's got to get one more to pass Al.
I'm sure Ken Mushinski knows it.
Everybody knows it.
Pulling the whole Steve Kerr, pulling Klay Thompson after he scored just under the record of threes in a game. Let's see if he's back out there at some points. Well, that run's going nowhere. Antonio Escalante of the Eagles. A 6'1", 240-pound senior. So much for the Rams having a size advantage. He's pretty big, too. That may have been the final play of the half. Well, for the Rams, with graduating Diego Muniz, they're going to have an adjustment from one quarterback to the next, whoever that is, Nathan Johnson, somebody else. Well, that running game looks pretty darn special moving forward for Ken Mushinski in the fall of 2021.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this Ramona team, 55, you put up double nickels in that first half, and let's see if La Sierra can adjust, see what Coach Mushinski does here in the second half. We will probably have a running clock the second half. So thank you for joining us here on Riverside TV for the first half of Ramona La Sierra. As we heard, the band will be making their way to the field possibly. Might get a little shot of the band here on Riverside TV.
That works. Works for me. The offense, the special teams, everyone was involved for the Rams, scoring touchdowns in the first half. 55-0 Ramona right here in the Riverside TV Game of the Week. More here tonight on Riverside TV in just a moment. For Jeff Gorham, the rest of our crew, I'm Nick Rice. We're back in a few minutes here at the half. 55-0 Rams.
The passing of the baton, but today it's going to be bashing in the ceremonial piñata. So there you go.
Transformation, and this gallery is just right next to the Zocalo. It is a center of activities. It has museum shop, it has cafe, you have gathering space, learning space. So these will be all fluid between the art in the gallery and the activity of the people indoor and outdoor.
As we go along this path, I am fully convinced that this museum and the Center for Chicano Art and Culture was meant to be, and it was meant to be here in Riverside and the Inland Empire. It is beyond my wildest dreams of what we could do with this building, and we hope we can bring honor and glory to a long tradition of historic buildings here in Riverside, California.
Engine 1 AMR, respond with RPD for a traffic accident with injuries. In 1234 Main, cross of Columbia, 2 vehicles involved.
Each year, the Riverside City Fire Department responds to 40,000 emergency calls.
431. And the men and women of the Riverside Police Department drive Code 3 every day.
We need your help, so you know what to do when you see emergency vehicles.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right.
Pull to the right. So help us help you.
We need you to pull to the right.
Mask up, Riverside. We mask up to keep our community safe.
Let's do our part to keep everyone safe. I wear my mask to prevent the spread of COVID-19.
I mask up.
I mask up.
I mask up to keep not just myself safe, but the elderly and family members affected.
I mask up so I can be there for my patients.
We mask up
so we can hug our grandbabies again.
I mask up because when you need help, I need to be able to respond.
I wear my mask
to prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Because my immune system is compromised.
Because it's easy.
Mask up, Riverside, so we can get back to normal.
Mask up, Riverside, so we can get married.
I mask up to keep myself safe and to keep everyone else safe.
I mask up for me, for you, and
to keep my family safe.
I wear my mask to stop the spread of COVID-19.
Add your phone. Stop the spread, California. Get COVID-19 exposure alerts. Help protect your community while maintaining your privacy. Go to canotify.ca.gov today.
Agrega tu teléfono California, detén la propagación, recibe alertas de exposición a COVID-19, ayuda a proteger a tu comunidad mientras mantienes tu privacidad. Ve a canotify.ca.gov hoy.
Today is our very first building of a Little Free Pantry. We are building a Little Free Pantry in our community. It will be one of the 26 throughout Riverside that will help fill the gaps of food scarcity here in Riverside. Data is telling us now that 1 in 6 families are hungry. It's about 44% of adults and about 50% of children that are hungry here within our own neighborhood, in our own backyard.
Because of the pandemic, there's a lot of hunger out there. There's a lot of families in need, and we hope that this will act as a bridge until families are able to get the food that they need. I think that there are always those times where we are living paycheck to paycheck and we need just a few cans of something to get us by. So these little pantries will serve in that capacity, and we're really excited to see something that will help families in need.
And this has been a wonderful collaboration with the Riverside Mutual Aid Network, IEHP, here at Sandals Church, and the City of Riverside. So this has been a fantastic opportunity for community members to step up and to fill a real void in our city, which is food insecurity. So the idea is that if one of these free little pantries in your neighborhood, you could stock it as frequently or as infrequently as you want to. And the idea behind it is that when people have extra food, it doesn't go to waste.
These pantries are just kind of the first step, right, for reintroducing neighbors back to each other, getting folks involved in taking care of each other again, and just strengthening those community bonds that Riverside is so known for. Because things like food drives and food distributions, they're really good, but they only help folks in that moment of need. And we wanted to create something that would continue giving back 5, 10, 15 years from now, and really allow the community to get back into taking care of each other instead of maybe relying on, just government or nonprofit structures to kind of take care of them.
If others want to follow suit, they can apply at riversideca.gov/cares as an application, or they can email us at neighbor@riversideca.gov to receive an application to host a Little Free Pantry in their neighborhood.
Add your phone. Stop the spread, California. Get COVID-19 exposure alerts. Help protect your community while maintaining your privacy. Go to canotify.ca.gov today.
Mrs. Pitchford again. I'm a teacher here in Riverside, and I wanted to talk to you today about something that everyone's talking about, and that's washing your hands. It's super duper important to wash our hands even better than we usually do. I know that you know how to wash your hands. You do it all the time. But nowadays, we have to wash our hands in an extra special way. We have to wash our hands much longer, okay? Because when we go outside, there are germs on our hands that we don't even know about, okay? If we touch something that somebody may have touched with their germy fingers, then those germs get on us. If somebody sneezes and goes, achoo, and then touches a doorknob, then those germs go on us, and we don't want that to happen. So when we are told by mommies and daddies or grandmas and grandpas or any of your grown-ups at home to wash our hands, we have to do it really well. Let me show you something about germs, okay? I brought something, and we're going to do some pretend for a minute. All right, so I brought this glass bowl from my house, and I brought some black pepper, and we're going to pretend that these black pepper flakes, these specks, we're going to pretend that they're germs, okay? So let's pretend that I sneezed, all right? So I'm going to stick my finger into those pretend germs, and I'm going to show you what happens. So here I go. I'm going to stick my finger in there. Ew, ew, can you see? Oh my goodness. These pretend germs are sticking to me. And you know what? Real germs do that too. It's just that we can't see them. So let's talk about why hand washing is important. And I'm going to show you something really cool. I brought some soap from my kitchen too, and I have some in a little dish here. And so let's pretend that I'm washing my hands. So on this finger, I'm going to dip it in some soap, and let's see what happens to those nasty pretend germs with the soap on this finger. Are you ready? All right, here we go. What's going to happen? Did you see that? Those germs went, no, no, soap. Soap is our enemy. Soap is the enemy of germs. And that's why grown-ups are telling you to wash your hands all the time. So make sure when you turn on the faucet and the water's running, you get lots of soap on your hands, but not too much, okay, just enough. And you rub this part of your hands. Don't forget your thumbs. Rub your thumbs. Even wash the top part of your hands and wash between your fingers. And sometimes, if you're not sure if you're washing your hands long enough, you can sing the ABC song. And I know you know the ABC song. And when the song is over, then you can rinse the soap off and dry your hands and go play again. So remember and show your mommies and daddies what you've learned about germs, okay? All right, see you next time. Bye.
Completed in September 2015, the Tequesquite Landfill Solar PV project is a 7.5 megawatt solar facility that is operated by SunPower and is set atop the decommissioned Tequesquite Landfill in Riverside, California. The project put Riverside 5 years ahead of its goal of having 20 megawatts of solar energy by 2020. The clean, renewable solar power generated is purchased by Riverside Public Utilities and directly feeds into Riverside's distribution system, providing enough electricity to power over 1,600 homes. For more information on other Riverside Public Utilities green energy efforts, visit greenriverside.com.
Hi, once again, welcome to Riverside Monthly. I'm Steve Brazel, your host, and this is the episode for this month that I've been looking so forward to, getting to know our new mayor, Mayor Locke Dawson. Mayor, how are you?
Oh, I'm great, Steve. Thank you. I'm happy to be back on the show now in a different capacity as mayor. As you know, you and I have, I think, been on the show together a couple times in the past.
Yes, we have. And Mayor Patricia Locke Dawson was elected last year, is the new mayor for the city of Riverside, and I am so happy to have you in the city and looking so forward to what you're doing. But I want to get to know you as the non-mayor title a little bit. You grew up in Riverside in the Greenbelt area. You graduated from Notre Dame High School. I'm kind of curious because it's always kind of an interesting way people get to choosing to serve in an elected type office. So How did that upbringing kind of lead you into a public service life?
Growing up in the Greenbelt, honestly, instilled in me a love of the outdoors because, I mean, my brothers and sisters, my mom wouldn't let us in the house until the street lights came on. I think a lot of people of my generation felt that way. We were outdoors a lot. And so, I went into forestry and wildlife and a career in the outdoors. And when I started working in that professional capacity, I felt like I was a pretty good scientist, pretty good wildlife biologist, but I was a better policymaker. And I kept getting dragged into things like that. And so I found that I could be more effective advocating for the things that I love in a different role than what I had trained to be.
See, that's interesting because you kind of went into an area that was tangential to this. And while serving in that capacity, your eyes were open to other things. You graduated from UCR, graduate studies at University of Washington, but it's in between that I think what you're alluding to. So in between UCR and University of Washington.
All right, and we're back at Ramona High School, and with that, let's take a look at what happened for the Rams in the first half. Ramona scored all but 6 rushing touchdowns. Christian Romo was the one who found the end zone first. 7-0 Rams. Then after this interception from Karan Baldwin, the Rams converted with another short yardage Christian Romo touchdown. It was a brilliant performance for the Rams running the football. In fact, Ramona only had 1 completion to a wide receiver, and this sort of play on special teams from Raymond Valdez was a big reason why they were scoring in every which way. Valdez from 68 yards out brought that one back for a touchdown and nearly did so on this return for Ramona. At this moment, Ramona led the ball game 14-0. But they get back into the scoring ledger yet again. There's number 28, Steven Castaneda, starting things off. This really was an impressive running performance for the Rams through 2 quarters.
They were great. They managed to go unscathed, untouched, and a couple of those touchdowns by the Rams.
And of the touchdowns, 4 of which was by one player, sophomore Bo Bruins. Now, this play was delivered from Steven Castaneda, and at this moment, Rams led the ball game against La Sierra 21-0. The Eagles have had a fine defensive season, but the Rams took them to task, led by Bruins. There's one of the scores from the sophomore tailback. And Bruins, it seemed like that was the play which sparked his impressive first half.
And he is going to be the running back of the future. The running game is definitely going to be intact for the Rams as he's got 2 more great years under his belt.
We saw Muniz find the end zone, and then Bruins again. Number 9, sophomore Bo Bruins. This was a 48-yard cutback run, a thing of beauty. Maybe the best run of the ball game due to that dive to the end zone. And at the half, the Rams lead the Eagles by an astounding 55-0.
And like we mentioned, Bo Bruins tied with Al Bundy of Married with Children with 4 touchdowns. In fact, he had it in the first half. So let's give it to Bo Bruins over Al Bundy.
Let's do it. So the Rams will begin the second half by kicking off to La Sierra. What is the game plan for the Eagles moving forward? Because in my opinion, Angel Torres looked pretty comfortable throwing the ball. I'd probably try and feature him in the passing game a bit more.
Well, you're playing a lot of young players. If you're Coach Hernandez and the Eagles, you just play your game and you try to get better each half you play. And every possession you play, and you get the reps for these young players, because the game will slow down to them once they get, get a little older, a little stronger. They'll get used to this kind of play.
Squid kick to start the second half, taking on the hop just inside the 15-yard line. Xavier Castellanos, and he has run out across the 25. La Sierra has not been shut out in a game this season, and they've played some pretty good opponents at Hillcrest to start the year. Patriot Arlington last week against Notre Vista. But the Eagles come into the ball game at 0-4. Ramona is 2-2, coming off a tough one against Hillcrest a week ago, and the Rams can clinch the 3 spot in the River Valley League with a victory tonight, and they look well on their way through 2 quarters.
I believe we'll have a running clock here in the second half.
Angel Torres, the Eagles quarterback, speaking of the youth movement, he is a just freshman, came into the ball game completing just 27% of his throws, but he certainly showed some poise in spots in the first half of this game. The fumbles on the quarterback to running back exchange have bit them 2 times today. And this run game's a couple. As the Rams, Kyle Potter, a senior linebacker, makes the stop.
Yeah, the main concern really for both programs now is, I'm sure Ramona will get a lot of those youth in to play against La Sierra, but the main concern is really not to get hurt. You have basically 24 minutes of football left and not to get any serious injuries.
And, of course, after this game, there is a very short layoff before the next season starts. Toss to Humberto Jara, and he has run out of bounds just across the 30-yard line. The Rams up 55-0 here with 2 minutes gone by in the third quarter. Nick Rice, Jeff Gorham, the Rambassador for tonight's football game. Ramona and Jeff, you know this firsthand. They have a history of a winning culture in the River Valley, really in any league.
Yeah, they've had 2 CIF championships in football, one by Coach Don Markham, who was a legendary coach here in the Inland Empire, and Orst Stekovich, who was a longtime coach.
And Ramona was a 2-point conversion away from a CIF championship last year. Jara's tripped up just across the 40-yard line. An excellent run taken down by the sophomore Nikki Chavez. First down, La Sierra. As the Eagles feature Humberto Jara, he came into the ball game. 55 carries for 196 yards, and even though he was bottled up in the first half, he rips off this excellent run on the left side here in the third quarter. Excellent drive for La Sierra. 1st and 10. And Blair Turner is taken down quickly. And Nathan Horton involved, number 13 for the Rams. There are a lot of exciting youngsters to join this club or return next year. Nathan Horton is one of them at defensive tackle, number 13.
Yeah, and you look at the roster, and you notice it's sophomores. I mean, they have got a ton of sophomores in this program, a lot of juniors as well. So Coach Mush will have a full cupboard next year, I should say.
Oh, that's a good one, yeah. Humberto Jara, nowhere to go. Horton is involved yet again. Martinez for the Rams converges to. Humberto Jara ripped off a big run to begin the drive, but the Rams have held him in check in the last couple of plays.
Yeah, the big boys up front for Ramona. Yeah, this defensive line, mentioning it, the defensive line coach, Frank Berber, a buddy of mine, I got to get him out there in his chaklas, his flip-flops.
Where is he? Where's the flip-flops? Somewhere around
Just
there.
look for a guy who's very cold feet.
Yeah.
And he has big feet.
Torres with the drop back. He is under pressure, forced by Horton. The ball is scooped up by the Rams. And Javier Castaneda is in the end zone until he loses it. And the Rams recover. A flag is down, but right now it's a Ramona touchdown.
So a great effort from both teams twice. In fact, the La Sierra defender getting the ball there, knocking it out, but it will be a face mask, so the ball will come back.
Very impressive defensive play. I mean, and it's all led by Nathan Horton on that one. But the Rams, we'll look at this replay here, but they are overwhelming La Sierra at the line of scrimmage.
And you see the face mask.
Castaneda unblocked, yeah.
Oh, right there.
Number 95, Javier Castaneda. A great return, though. How about that for a defensive lineman? We almost had a Rams defensive touchdown.
And like I said, we mentioned this earlier, a lot of these personal fouls, I don't think they're nefarious, if you'd like to say. See, I throw out another word there for nefarious.
That sounds
honestly,
like Ramona education you're putting on display tonight. Angel Torres, the freshman quarterback, a gain of about 7. What were you saying about nefarious penalties?
Yeah, they're not. I just think they just haven't played enough football. So some of the fouls that we're going to get, I don't think they're on purpose or anything. I just think it's in the play of football. And guys, you're just going to get some personal fouls that, like I said, aren't on purpose. It's just lack of playing this season.
And just on that note, you've got to believe that by league play next year, these teams almost be more prepared because of spring football being played instead of fall football. So an opportunity for the football team to not get too far away from Coach Mushinski. 4th down, and the Rams make the defensive stop. Led by Andrew Lopez, the Rams turn over La Sierra with 5:12 to go in the third quarter.
And remember, these teams right now, if they're in week 5, they would be playing their last non-league game going into league schedule. So, I mean, it's going to be sloppy football, and we've seen it this year. I've talked, like I mentioned, talking to Jim Clover at the Riverside Sport Clinic. Said he had so many kids with bad knee injuries this year. We hope that next year, given the amount of practice time, conditioning, strength, that these guys won't be hurt next year, and they'll get to play relatively safely.
Right. Well, this has been an impressive start to the third quarter by the Eagles defense. Antonio Escalante, the senior nose guard, makes the stop deep in the backfield. Credit the Eagles. That defensive line has really stopped the run well in the last 12 minutes of this game. There's Escalante. He meets the runner in the hole and brings him down right away. No Bo Bruins out there.
Looks like Bruins might not get that Al Bundy record of 5 touchdowns, but he did get 4.5, so
that works. Luis Villarreal, a gain of a couple. These are some valuable snaps for Rams youngsters.
You got Nathan Johnson, the sophomore quarterback, in now for Ramona, 6'1", 160-pounder. So the heir apparent to Diego Muniz. I think we've seen the last of maybe of Diego in a Ramona uniform.
I guess now would be a good time as any. What are your thoughts of Ramona in their newly minted uniforms?
I like them. Coach Mush, he likes the different looks. Last week we had them. They had the all whites. They looked great. And then the first game of the season, I believe, we had they wore black uniforms, and that was their championship uniforms. They like to run. But yeah, very, very cool color. My favorite color scheme has to be Ramona. I do like Poly because I do think the green and orange. Yeah, I'm not saying I like Poly High School, but I like the Poly uniforms. And
let's just keep that clear.
Yeah, the green and orange looks pretty cool together, just like the Ramona navy and Columbia blue.
4th down and 5, and here he goes, Christian Romo. A huge gain before Blair Turner, sophomore defensive back, wraps him up as the Eagles give up one to the outside. What was the Ramona uniforms like back in your day?
Pretty much the same. We had
we
had at one time we had blue helmets with the white ram. I still think they're the coolest helmets around.
That is pretty cool. Kind of like a L.A. Ram throwback.
Yes, you're darn right.
Darn right. So it was only fitting that their kicker would go to the Rams, right?
No, the kicker was he was a Norte Vista guy.
Oh,
but
he was a Norte Vista
playing
guy.
against Ramona because my dad was coaching at Norte Vista at the time. And
Johnson fakes the handoff and runs right into Humberto Jara, but picks up about 6 on the play. Does Nathan Johnson?
Talked about Jara. He's done a great job. We've called his name for a long time.
A bunch of times. He is the team's leading tackler, has the most forced fumbles on the club, and also the most rushing yards. Number 21. Junior, 5'10", 160 pounds, number 21, Humberto Jara. of La Sierra. So we may hear of his name again, as Ramona will be playing at La Sierra next year, assumedly this coming fall, in the River Valley League. As we're closing in on a minute in the third quarter. The Rams, what a performance. 55-0.
As we have a running clock here in the second half. And we have a stop clock for a timeout.
All right. How does these coaches keep the teams ready over the summer, no matter whether it's spring ball or fall ball, no matter what? It's challenging.
What you end up doing, it's coaching in high school has become a year-round situation, and you immediately you stay in the weight room and you play 7-on-7. You do whatever you can to get as many reps as possible, and then in the summer you work on your speed and conditioning and agility. You work with your quarterbacks and your receivers, timing and so forth, and that's just what they haven't had to do this year. They were on the Zoom calls, which is
how do you practice on Zoom?
I don't know.
That's insane.
You really don't.
Maybe that's why we haven't seen so many passes and maybe more penalties than usual this year.
Yeah, that's exactly.
How do you do that? That's incredible. Now I'm sure you've learned a lot about Zoom this year, teaching guys, seeing guys on Zoom this year.
I
just
do
like
not
me.
like Zoom. I like to see
What?
people. No, I would rather be around the students. Best part about working at a high school is working with the young people, and the Rams make a nice run there.
Yeah, Steven Castaneda. Maybe the Rams as a team, and that's got to feel pretty good. The Rams as a team are closing in on the rushing touchdown record. Because Ramona...
They've had some great running backs here over the years.
Yep. They have 7 rushing touchdowns tonight, does Ramona as a team, and 4 from one player, Bo Bruins, so that's a touchdown. Christian Martinez.
I think they're going to call a hold against Ramona, so they're going to have to try again.
We'll see. I guess this would be a good time also. The River Valley League as a whole, Hillcrest first, Notre Vista second, Ramona in third, and that order isn't too much of a surprise. Of course, Hillcrest beating Notre Vista was a pretty big moment in the Valley this year.
Yeah, one of the big games we talked about, but Arlington has joined the mix this season. Arlington has not been a part of the River Valley League. As Harupa Valley went out, they came in. So
all right,
things will change a little bit over the years. But, hey, talking about COVID testing, as students, teachers, coaches, and faculty members head back to practice and campus, let's make sure everyone stays safe from COVID-19. Fortunately, Riverside has numerous locations within the city to provide at no cost a simple oral swab testing. You will receive results within 24 to 48 hours directly to your phone. Make sure you and your loved ones are healthy and stay healthy so we can all keep moving in the right direction. For local information, visit riversideca.gov/testing. Make sure you get tested. Have you been tested yet?
I have not.
You have not? You didn't have the swab down your mouth? No, it's not that big a deal. The nose one, the first one, that's one that used to tickle everybody's brain. You don't want that one. But then they ended up going to the swab, and then they have the spitting kind, which I'll be honest with you, I have probably been tested close to 100 times this year.
Really?
I have, but I am
100 times.
And I have been vaccinated.
Very nice.
So yeah, I'm. You'll be able to get vaccinated soon. I think 18 and over. And so
yeah, you might be a little angry at me. I think I cut the line because I got vaccinated too with J&J, and of course the news is out there that there's some.
They halted it.
Yeah,
but that's okay. But I'm telling you.
But I'm okay, I believe.
I'm just surprised. I'm surprised that they let 16-year-old boys get vaccinated.
Right. But when you're on Riverside TV, it's just a special occasion. So
you gotta get vaccinated. So we're getting to the world back to normal again.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, what scared me is getting tickled in the brain. That definitely was what scared me. But I might as well. Third down
and a touchdown.
Who was that? I was too busy talking about
getting tested.
We'll
check out here on the replay, but
I believe that was Romo. No, it wasn't Romo. That's Luis Villarreal, number 26.
The sophomore 5'3", 165-pound running back. As they lead 61-0.
All right,
with
not
a running
bad.
Clock.
Okay, so we've had this running thing on Riverside TV about, there could be anything in the world that we trivia with on here, and for some reason we always choose presidents. So I figured now would be a good time to hold my ground on Riverside TV and ask the great Jeff Gorham in his own home stadium.
As Valdez
president
scored.
Let's do the
the
2-point
pass
conversion.
to Isaiah Reyes. We look at the moon. Look at the moon. You know what that
very
is called
nice.
right there?
What is that called?
Okay, what kind of moon is that?
The big cheese?
No. That is a waxing crescent.
Waxing crescent. Oh, that's what
If it was the other way, it would be a waning crescent.
Waning crescent.
See, it's a waxing crescent.
Interesting. Oh, you definitely know that.
Yeah, go ahead. Give me your trivia question that you were going to ask me.
All right, very, very, very
Something
cool.
about Ramona, I hope.
Wait, before I get to that, so does the crescent impact the waves at all, or because
Grunion are out right now. Grunion are running. You know what the Grunion are?
Grunion. Oh, I haven't heard of that.
Okay, you know what, Nick Rice?
Let's
okay.
get to the president question.
Okay,
All right,
the
all right.
Grunion are the fish that they burrow and they burrow into the sand and they lay eggs. It's called the Grunion Run, and that's right now the Grunion are running, they call it. Okay, give me your trivia question as we get the kickoff here.
Okay, and I'd love to get back on that topic because I'd like to know something about that too. Who is the one president that was invited to play in the NFL and he turned it down? Do you know who that is?
George Bush.
No.
No? He played football at Yale, though. Did you know that?
I did not know that. You're talking about George Bush Sr., right?
Yes.
All right.
He was invited to play in the NFL. I would say maybe Ron Reagan. No?
No, not Ron Reagan.
Oh, it's not Joe Biden.
You don't think so?
No, it's not Joe Biden, and it's not Barack Obama.
Hey,
because
apparently
Barack
he has,
Obama
he
was
has
a basketball player.
Oh, that's right. He comes from an athletic family, though. So
okay. Okay. So give me a hint.
He is the 37th president of the United States.
37th.
Yeah. So actually, not too long ago.
It can't be Bill Clinton. He can just play that.
No. Chester A. Arthur.
37th president of the United States.
We're on 45, right?
No, we're on 46.
We're 46.
46 now. It's not Jimmy Carter.
He attended the University of Michigan and turned down offers to play with the Lions and the Packers. That probably doesn't help at all.
University of Michigan president.
Mm-hmm. Ooh,
it can't be
Gazal,
Jimmy Carter.
Are you listening? Are you listening?
Gerald Ford.
Good.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
Very
there you
nice.
Go. Don't. I thought of it enough, and yes, Gerald Ford. But see, he was a president that used to fall down. So you didn't know this. He used to fall off of Air Force One all the time.
Really?
Yes. And in fact, Chevy Chase. You remember Chevy Chase, the comedian?
Yeah.
When he was on Saturday Night Live, he used to do an impression of Gerald Ford, and he used to fall down all the time. And Chevy Chase he ended up getting himself hurt and slipped a disc in his back portraying Gerald Ford. But yes, Gerald Ford did play football. I don't think he could have made it, though. I think that's one of those things. That's hyperbole. Oh, he's the greatest. Like Barack Obama, you watch him shoot, and they say he was a basketball player. I guarantee if I played Barack Obama, and if he's listening, I'm 50 years old. He wouldn't score a point on me.
He wouldn't score a point.
No,
he's what is he, 6'2"?
He wouldn't score on me.
Interesting.
Yeah, there is not a president alive or past that could score on me. I guarantee it. Yeah, Barack Obama could not score. I like him, but he couldn't score on me.
Interesting.
I'd shut him out. I'd block his shot, and I would
shut him out. Now you did that a lot back in your day, though. So
yeah, and I could. The last Trump, I could beat him in golf. I've seen him play golf and better than him.
Right. He plays golf all the time.
Yeah, I could beat him. And Joe Biden, whatever you play, if you got a fastball, I'll play. If he wants to play darts, I'll beat him in darts.
You beat him in darts?
I'll beat him in tiddlywinks. Do you know what tiddlywinks are? Did you ever play that as a kid?
I did not.
See, it's another one of those games you've never played, Nick Rice. I bet you played Uno pretty good, though. Did you play Uno?
Oh yeah, of course. And I can get around a chessboard. Is that something you're into?
Yeah, I'll whoop you in chess, though.
You whoop me in chess?
I guarantee I will.
Interesting. Do you have a question for me? Oh, by the way, before we get to that,
I already got you with 10 questions tonight.
I don't recall. I have no idea. Do you go to? I'm sure your kid does too. Connor, shout out to Connor. He's doing a great job right now on Riverside TV, manning the crew on Riverside TV. I was just in San Diego when they had the colored waves. It's like that crazy
bioluminescence.
Yeah, that's so crazy. And the sand lights up too. That's pretty cool. We're getting way off topic here, by the way.
Yeah, you just talked about you're talking about romantic waves here on Riverside TV.
Right.
But now you got to go check out the Grunion Run. We had a beautiful
run,
waxing crescent. I gave you a little. See, that wasn't trivia. I was just giving you a little
information.
Info.
I like it. 3rd down and 9 for La Sierra. They'll go to Humberto Jara yet again on the ground, and he is brought down across the 35-yard line in the development of La Sierra under Sebastian Hernandez. I would believe that Humberto Jara is going to be at the front of it.
Yeah, and Christian Martinez with a tackle there, and a junior for Ramona.
Yeah, this Jara kid's pretty good. He has been the star of the show, both sides of the ball for the Eagles tonight. And, I mean, maybe his numbers won't be dazzling, but that's because Ramona, that's the guy they're looking at. You know, every play on defense, let's get 3 or 4 hats on number 21.
Put a spy in him and take that away from that young man.
Jara's the deep back, one of 2 behind Angel Torres, the freshman single caller, on 4th and 4. Under 6:30 to go in the ball game. Inside run, Jara slips under his own offensive line. Matthew Reyes. He had a cutback lane and a first down had Reyes not get a foot out there. That's a turnover for La Sierra.
Jara tried his best, though, as you saw. He went down and threw that extra arm out trying to get an extra yard there.
Did you watch Jeopardy when Aaron Rodgers was on it last week? Are you a Jeopardy guy?
I like Jeopardy, but I was busy. I got little kids, man. 7 o'clock, I've got Bluey on. I watch Bluey on the little kids shows. I got little guys at home.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the old like Nickelodeon shows and everything. So I watch them with my kids, and my 4-year-old's a great golfer. So we watch a lot of golf around the Gorham house, and golf, surfing, and basketball. My middle one's a basketball player.
Yeah, certainly. Yep, number 26, there he goes, Luis Villarreal. Certainly very, very disheartening what has happened with Tiger Woods over the last couple of weeks.
My son's hero. My 4-year-old's
a lot of guys' hero. And they finally put out the information about what all happened, and it's just tragic. I, to be honest, didn't even want to hear it.
He'll be back. I'm telling you.
Yeah, everybody's saying he's done. That's
he'll
it.
Be back.
Tiger Woods is over.
He'll be
and
back.
I heard that before.
Throw a flag on the play there.
That guy's the only guy, not named Jeff Gorham, I've seen wear a cape. So, he'll be out there. I've seen you wearing a cape, wearing the armor.
I did. I wore the armor for the. I won the. I was the Notre Dame Aquinas. The shield.
Yep, the shield. So hopefully we'll be back and ready to rock and roll the Notre Dame Aquinas game pretty soon.
Yeah, the Holy War.
The Holy War.
Yeah, we didn't get the Holy War this year, so it's been like the first time in 400 years.
Oh yeah. Back 1600s the last time.
That was the last time those guys were playing.
Exactly. Back when Jeff Gorham was playing high school football.
Whoa.
Whoa, I thought we were cool, Jeff.
Hey,
man, I'm going to really be bummed. I just got back to hanging out with you here in the Riverside TV booth. We got 4 months off.
Yeah. I will be back, though. We'll be back in the fall with the Riverside TV crew, Scott Brocious, and everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Award-winning.
Ramona's about ready to take the Stiddy Championship in Riverside this year in the La Sierra Ramona matchup, and the Rams will finish the regular season 3rd in the River Valley. Hillcrest, congratulations to the Trojans. They have knocked out Patriot and have won the River Valley League at 5-0. Notre Vista coming in 3-1. Ramona is 3-2. So the Rams will finish 3rd in this tough league. And that's the funny thing about high school football in the CIF. teams are changing leagues almost every year.
Yes, and we didn't have a true, with some of these leagues, they were so big, the super leagues, that you didn't have a true champion. Mm-hmm. But luckily in the River Valley, the games that they were able to play, they did get a full league slate, which is great. So we will be back with a full season next year of 10-game season.
If I'm not mistaken, though, there are some teams that do stay in the same league for a while.
They do.
Because of the rivalries.
Yeah, basically, and based on school population and so forth.
Very, very interesting.
So we have a player down for La Sierra.
How's the Rams basketball team looking?
Oh, he's great. Yeah, Brandon Fletcher, the women's basketball coach here at Ramona High School, took the Rams to the state championship game 2 years ago.
Nice.
So the entire River Valley League has done a great job. But he's kind of in a rebuild. I believe they're 6-2. They were playing Notre Dame right before this game.
All right.
So I walked over to the gym and gave Coach Fletcher, as we like to call him, sweater vest. Gave him a high five as they were winning when I left. I hope they can walked away with a victory. As we see number 62, Elizabeth Lopez.
According to, 4'10" Elizabeth Lopez.
The senior offensive and defensive line. Hopefully she is okay as she is being escorted off the field. So we're back to play here with 2:21 left.
She has 2 tackles on the season, just the 4-game season. So hopefully she'll be okay. She looked fine. Let's see if Ramona can get the 8th touchdown running of the ball game up as Johnson hands. Martinez is smothered near the line of scrimmage and gained a couple. Well, this game certainly looks like quite the blowout. The Eagles, however, did have their fair share of turnovers in the game. 4 giveaways for La Sierra. You can't win with mistakes like that.
No, and it's just the youth. When you have 16 freshman football players on your varsity and you're starting those players, they're going to make some mistakes. They're not mental mistakes. They're just mistakes due to youth. I mean, many of these players hadn't played high school football or football of any kind until you go to high school. So Coach Sebastian Hernandez doing a good job considering with such young talent.
Martinez dragged down by number 2, Jeremiah Randall, as the Rams are down to their final few plays of the game. I don't think I could have executed any handoffs on Zoom and all of a sudden translate to a live action football game. So, kudos to these guys for just getting in a season and competing their butts off this year. It's been a blast. And tomorrow we're going to have more Riverside TV, 7 p.m., Pauley Bears, Lakeside Lancers.
We'll be on the call with our good friend J.R. Ibarra.
Yep.
You got to work with Ghazal last night?
That was a blast.
Great guy, Ghazal Hassan.
All right. 4th down, and Martinez is taken down after a short game. He threw the absolute curveball, and I don't think you've been able to answer a single one of them so far. The presidents that come from schools or come from states where Super Bowl winning quarterbacks are from. I wonder if Ghazal asked that question exactly the way I pronounced it, but that's the general gist of this whole thing. And he knew all 5, which was insane to me.
Yeah, presidents who attended the same university as Super Bowl winning quarterbacks.
That's
Delaware, Stanford, Annapolis, Miami, and Michigan.
Nice. Miami of Ohio.
Yes, Miami of Ohio.
Nice. With Big Ben. It was a good one tonight, and it's got to feel pretty good, Mr. Rambassador. Ramona's a winner tonight, 63-0 over La Sierra. I thought that was going to be the buzzer there.
I think they're going to call let's see what they're doing here. I think they're going to call a penalty, and they're going to run the clock out, so it will be the end.
Oh, there you go. 63-0. The Rams have got a good one moving forward. Bo Bruins, 4 rushing touchdowns of the ball game, just short of a record-breaking performance out of the Ramona runner.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, if you look at the highlights here, the Rams just did it all on offense.
It was an impressive start to the game for the Rams on offense. Angel Torres, the freshman quarterback, tossed right to Karan Baldwin, which began the defensive shutout for the Rams, Ramona's first shutout win of the season, and courtesy of 7 rushing touchdowns. And this one on special teams, the Raymond Valdez 68-yard punt return score. The Rams rout La Sierra 65-0. Valdez was excellent, giving his few returns in the special teams game for Ramona. Bo Bruins, the sophomore tailback, scored 4 rushing touchdowns in the ball game. Meanwhile, the Rams got back on the board as Luis Villarreal, another sophomore runner, was involved throughout this touchdown drive. Diego Nunez also had 1 rushing touchdown. He wears number 5 for the host Rams. As Ramona exhausted that La Sierra defense. Look at the hands on the hips. They were exhausted against the team that ran roughshod, led by Bruins in the ground game. Here's a look at another one. A touchdown from Christian Romo. And on senior day, too, a pretty spectacular way for the Rams to cap off the season.
Yeah, great season ender, and another way to build upon what you've already started, Coach Mashinsky.
This might have been the run of the ball game. Fresh off of this Diego Muniz touchdown from 48 yards out, Bo Bruins, sophomore runner and the reigning athlete of the week at Ramona High School. He may have that award again as Bruins scores this touchdown. And here he goes again. This was the play of the day. 48 yards on a cutback to the left, and then he dives into the end zone. Impressive performance. Bruins over 200 yards on the ground tonight. And here's a look at his 4th touchdown. 2 yards out, untouched. It was a pleasure tonight as the Rams put up 65. It's their highest scoring performance in a game this year. They pull off their first shutout, 63-0 over La Sierra. Final thoughts, Jeff?
Just, La Sierra has to hold their heads up high. They have 16 freshmen on this varsity team. Coach Sebastian Hernandez will do a great job, and Coach Mashinsky over at Ramona is continuing to build this program in the right direction.
Good luck moving forward for Sebastian Hernandez as the Eagles complete their 5-game season. Rams finished 3rd in the River Valley League with a win tonight, 63-0. They are 3-2. For Jeff Gorham, Scott Broch is down in the studios. How about Connor? Great work tonight from Connor, too.
Connor Gorham was doing some directing and some video. He was a cameraman and directed here in the second half. So maybe there's a future in broadcasting for my son, Connor Gorham.
Yes, and thanks, Ross, and thanks to all the other guys. Rams win it 63-0. For the rest of our crew, I'm Nick Rice. Good night from Ramona High School. Rams winners 63-0.